I don't know, like you want it to feel organic and stuff like that, and be comfortable.
Yeah, we live now.
All right,
Hey,
cool.
what's going on, guys? It's KLA Cloud the Wanderer. Once again, I have a comic book artist. His name is Damon Hampton, and he's here to tell how he got started in creating comics. And welcome, man. Really
Yeah, yeah,
appreciate you.
well, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, yeah. I kind of stumbled across you on Instagram. I was just, I was just searching because, I've been, recently for a while now, I've been like it's finding like independent artists and stuff like that, comic book artists,
Hmm.
comic book creators and stuff like that. Not just artists, but writers and stuff. And I just
Yeah,
happened to see you, and I was like, I really like your artwork and stuff.
thank you.
So, like, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, yeah. There was a time I draw also and stuff, but I don't draw like I used to and stuff. So I
Yeah,
have like a friend. Yeah, I did a little bit of comic book stuff. Try to like I took courses in the School of Visual Arts in here in New York City and stuff.
that's crazy.
So
I tried to go to that school for college, but I couldn't afford it. It was like
yeah,
I
yeah,
got the acceptance of it, and they was just like, "Yo, it's gonna be $50,000 a year," and I was like, "I ain't never seen that much money before in my life. You want me to give it to you annually? That's crazy."
yeah.
Um,
That's yeah,
so I couldn't go, but I really wanted to because I wanted to learn comics, and I wanted to at the time I wanted to live in New York because I grew up in Chicago. I grew up in the city, and I like living in cities. Like I think it's better than living in the suburbs or whatever.
right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just took like courses really. I took like a course in alternative comics. This
Yeah,
was like 20 years ago, like
yeah,
over 20 years ago. Yeah. So, like and then I took like another course, like two more courses there, like in stop motion and traditional animation
yeah,
and stuff. That's the history I got from School of Visual Arts, but I didn't like I just took courses. I didn't graduate from there, So, but it is expensive. I can imagine. I know that is it's expensive. They have another school like not far from it. It has it's a school of film and I think I forgot the name, Academy of Film. And
okay,
they have like a course in animation. And I remember one time I asked the guy, like, I was curious if they had courses like they had in School of Visual Arts. And he said, yeah, but it costs like $1,000. I was like, wow, okay.
yeah.
So I ain't never, yeah.
That's I mean
But
like
enough of
that's
that.
yeah. Yeah.
No, go ahead, go ahead. No, go
No, I was
ahead.
just
It's
gonna say
cool.
like that's kind of the crazy part about being an artist from like certain from like a certain background. It's like comics getting into comics is hard because it's like you kind of it's better for you to be from a little bit of money. If you ain't got like some kind of
Right.
money, like you gotta work and you gotta try to make shit work and you gotta learn how to do all this shit on your own. Like I've been learning how to do comics on my own for the past like 12 years or whatever. Um,
Okay.
and honestly, longer than that, really. But it's wild because it's like the resources are out there, but they cost money, or you got to kind of like scour online and like figure out who is interesting to talk to, like what people actually teach comics well online and stuff. Like learning shit online is like a double-edged sword because it's like anybody can post a how-to online. It don't make them good at it. It don't mean they actually can teach you anything. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's
No, I
is
mean, yeah. No, I was saying like yeah, I mean there's people that know stuff, but they might not be a great teacher for you.
yeah,
You know?
exactly. Some people, yeah, some of the best artists don't know how to can't teach you how to draw shit.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But how you got your start though? Like
Um, my so I've been drawing since I was like 3. Um, my mom is an artist and she taught me how to draw. And my brother, he used to draw back in the day, back when he was real little. And I was just trying to keep up with him. And
mm,
then I got into like manga and anime and stuff. And I always wanted to draw comics. I don't know why. Like I had I didn't even have comics until I was like 13. Like I couldn't find any real comics until I was 13, but I'd always wanted to like get into it. And then
right.
but every opportunity I got like all kinds of like how to draw books and stuff like that. And then back in 2011, I hooked up with this group, and I worked on this book called that we call 12 Gauge Stereo, and we did like 2 issues of it. And that was my first comic that I ever like self published, or like
Oh, okay.
self published. Like I worked on it with my friend Steven, and that book was like my introduction to like actually producing comics, for like learning how to do the beginnings of it. And then I just kind of
Right.
like working on different projects and stuff from then on, like doing my own stuff and trying to get my own stuff out there, and then working with some like some local dudes who like was just who tried to start their own company or whatever, which is always a mixed bag. People always come to you like with a brand plans and shit, but like you never know what it's gonna actually turn into. And then
Yeah.
yeah, and then a few years ago I entered this DC contest, and um I happened to get in, and then I did a short story for DC last year.
A
Um
word? Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that was through the Milestone Initiative. So I got to do a hardware story, and that was
Yeah.
dope. I haven't had a chance to
I
work with
see
them
you.
since. I've just been focusing on my own stuff.
Yeah. You never went to school? Like you just like drew from no, I was actually you never been to school or like to
So
like just
I went to like I learned art as far as school, like high school, and there was like art programs in Chicago. Like there was this like
yeah,
special art program in Chicago that you could do in high
right.
school, and I did like experimental animation. I did some illustration classes, but like college, I went to community college for a minute, and I kind of got kicked out a little bit.
Oh,
But and so I didn't even finish that. But I didn't go to like art school.
okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So and I've been
Cool,
practicing drawing
man.
since I was a kid, just like from books
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I was real lucky in that my mom being an artist and my mom having gone to art school, she was able to like
Oh,
direct
okay.
let it go. I feel like a lot of my homies who grew up like I grew up, who didn't have that support, like they they
Yeah.
had the talent, but like they didn't have the same direction on like what to focus on, like studying and stuff. So like learning how to draw, my mom was there early enough to teach me to like actually learn how to draw people like realistically a little bit before I just was like
Right.
focus, instead of just focusing on like cartoons and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. I took like a course. Like I went. You could say that I've been to I had like a art education, but uh, it was like one of those stay at home tests. You do
Yeah.
it and you send it to them, and then they grade you and stuff. They critique you, like what you did, what can you improve on and stuff. It's like 12 lessons. It's like they're located in Minnesota. Like
Yeah.
the dude that created the Peanuts game, he attended that school
Oh
and he
yeah, yeah, yeah.
graduated there.
About this.
Yeah, Charles Schwartz, if
Yeah.
I'm pronouncing his name right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
So,
yeah, so I stuck in with the lessons and the painting and calligraphy and perspectives and all this stuff and but I ain't never I finished it, but I ain't never go outside of that. So I say it to tell you like you know that kudos to you, because because everybody can't do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean it's I think it's just it's practicing. You got to practice, and then you got to kind of force yourself to
Yeah,
do what you don't want to do sometimes. I think like one of the things that I always have issues with is backgrounds and stuff like that, because it's not always as fun to draw like buildings and stuff like that as it is to draw people for me. But like you gotta force yourself to do that stuff a little bit and make it fun and learn how to make it fun. And I think like if you can make yourself enjoy it, then it's a lot easier to like do interesting stuff. Um,
yeah. You never get tired of it, like to just be like, oh man, I just getting,
I
like
sometimes
to a point where,
I the hardest part for me now is so important to like to make a name for yourself in the industry, get yourself more jobs, especially because I'm like working freelance and stuff. Is you got to get yourself
yeah,
some kind of like Instagram clout or like social media clout. You got to get yourself known on social media on some level. And for me, that's a mixed bag because I don't feel comfortable with creating a persona for people to ingest and I don't feel comfortable like with the idea that people can come at me like real talk. Like I just think that like it's it's crazy to me that people you get online and you like give them a portion of yourself and then people can just come at you any kind of way they feel like and they expect you to
what
just
should be come at you?
like you just see people coming at people like online like trying to call people out trying to attack people and talk to them in a
Oh,
kind of way and expecting them to be just chill with that. And I'm like, I'm not that mature, my guy. Like I'm not like, oh yeah, like you can just talk to me and I'm just gonna process it correctly and deal with it. It's like you can't just be talking to me any kind of way and expect me to like not curse you out. That's wild to me. Um so I don't
they
like
critique your work.
what?
Do they critique your work? Like when you say that, like
No, I mean it's not critiquing your work. I think like that's the crazy part. Like I don't think people I think if I was bigger, like if I had bigger social media presence, then like maybe people would critique my work. Every once in a while somebody will say something to me. Um but it's not as crazy as it could be. But I think for it to be that way, I have to like really put myself out there. I have to like find some like way to like I see people like white manga or like, um other artists who like they do tutorials and they do like all these videos and they do little breakdowns and stuff like that and they put their personality out there for people to critique and I don't want to do that, but it also means that people don't really know who I am because it's hard to promote myself when I'm just like I make here's a cool drawing or whatever. I hope you
yeah,
like it. Like and also like online in general, like people expect you to always be happy and then they get mad when you happy all the time. It's weird.
yeah. I try not to pay social media too much. We got a guest. He's from Chicago. His name is Balls Deep. Chicago in here.
Yo, what's up?
Smash the like button. Make me a moderator. Yeah, me and him, we got the same interests and stuff.
Yeah.
But like so, what projects are you working on? I see like Become, like what is that about?
Yeah, Become is fun. I do it with my friend Cordy. She writes it. We write it together and then I like draw it. And it's this like story about this kid Wiles who is connected to this girl across space. Um
Mm,
and they have this intertwined destiny, but she gets abducted by aliens and him and his crew have to go and save like find out where she went and save her. And in the between time with she has to deal with being in space and learning how to fight for herself, and like she ends up in like a gladiatorial arena and stuff. and by the time they meet up, she's like different. And they have to deal with that as well as like the people chasing them and stuff. So it's like a real character driven like space story, sci-fi story. And it's a book I really like working on, and we work on it like as much as we can, like when we can. I think because my friend is a little bit more. She has other jobs and stuff like that. She's doing. But that's that's the book. That's one of the books I'm working on right now. And then I got a book in the oven right now called Wings of the King. I did a prelude for it like a year ago, 2 years ago, like and it's a tournament, like the whole idea was I was trying to make what I would do if somebody gave me the opportunity to like make a fighting game, because I love like Tekken and Street Fighter and shit like that. And it's just about people. It's just about this island that is like control. It's like run by like criminals, and it's like gangs all over it. And but they have this like crazy powerful resource that the world like needs. And because of that, like no other country in the world can really tell them what to do. And to get a hold of it, you got to have this special power. And to get that power, you got to win this fighting tournament or whatever. So all the characters are like these weird characters from all over the world who have to like who the main characters run into and have to fight. And I'm trying to get that off the ground soon. Like I want to have that started to releasing that like by like October. And have that be the series that I'm like writing and drawing and stuff.
So you got two. So you just did two projects. So you working on two projects.
Well, I got some stuff. I'm doing something with some other people. I'm not
Right.
sure how much I can say about that. Also, I'm doing right now. I'm working on a like Sentai like Power Rangers thing. With a friend of mine
Okay.
who was also in the Milestone Initiative. His name was Nathan Cheyenne, and it's just about like this, this dude who's like he like a Power Ranger, but he like older than the rest of them, and he kind of like towards the end of his career or whatever, and then the whole organization starts to unravel and stuff, and he has to like fight against everything that he was fighting for before. So I'm working on quite a few things. I'm working on like 5-6 things right now, actually, in certain different phases of stuff.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on the become. Like, what inspired you to do it? Like, your friend is the writer, or you both kind of like put have some input on it.
We both had some input. We both had some input on it. Actually, we technically started it around the time we met, right? Like it was like funny because I think we met on like OK Cupid, like we went on a date or whatever, and
Okay.
she wasn't really feeling me like that, but she was like, I want to be your friend. And I was like, you don't want to be my friend, you just trying to disappear or whatever. And but then
Right.
she came back with me, was like, these all ideas I have of comics or whatever. And I was like, all right, this is cool. And it's just about, I think at its core it's about like what it's like to have expectations, to get to a certain, to have these expectations about your life and how it's supposed to go, and hit the reality of what that is, right? So like all the characters I set in this world, most of the world characters I set in this world where their lives are like planned out for them, and society works on these tracks, and but everything they do and goes against that. When the second lead, Leah is Lena is kidnapped, they have to go off the plan that they've been told their lives are going to follow this entire time. And also they perspective on like how they society works and how they relationships work, I thrown into conflict, right? So they don't know, so they have to rediscover who they are and like where they fit into the world and what they want to do.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's also interesting that you went out with your friend and then y'all able to kind of collaborate together on a comic book.
Yeah. I think it's funny because it's just like you meet people and you think that, and again, you think certain things are gonna go a certain way, but like they go in a different direction, and it's just as
Right.
good or better than what you thought, you know. And
Yeah.
that's always kind of like fun to me. I think that's always the thing about life that can feel really good is like when stuff actually goes in a good direction, but you didn't plan for it.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe it might take it to another level. You
Yeah,
might know.
exactly.
Maybe she might be the one for you, you know? So, you know.
I
So
mean,
yeah, let me just no,
no,
go
but
ahead.
it's like no, that's not the case. But it's like her as my friend is like deeply important. You know what I mean? Like I'm so
Right,
grateful.
right.
You know, she's my friend and stuff like that. You know, I have my we've been friends for years, and I have my girl now, and I love her, and that like is really great. But
Oh,
like,
you got a girlfriend.
yeah. So like,
Oh, okay, okay.
so like that, that's different, but it's not what when I like met her, it's not what I expected, to happen. But like it is, but we do like we did make something. We do have a relationship that is important to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
It's still
yeah,
cool, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I don't always kind of like look at like especially if you're attracted to somebody like for me like it's hard for me to be attracted to somebody and just be their friend. It got to be something there like we both got to be friends and stuff. So,
Yeah,
but I mean it has a reason why it's a reason why you friends with her.
yeah,
It's not just other things, but it's a creative thing.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's not a bad thing. Yeah, it's helping you out. That's all.
I think
Yeah.
you gotta. It's yeah. I don't know. You people people come to your life for different reasons. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's and
Yeah.
you gotta just appreciate. I learned that you gotta appreciate how people are and what they bring to you, and not like dwell on what you kind of projected or wanted from them in the first place, because like that's just kind of
Right.
like you might
Yeah.
not even need that. You know what I mean? It's like half of that shit is stuff I was convinced of because I was watching too much TV. While
How
we
old are you? If you don't mind me asking?
I 31.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
You're still young. I mean, you're still young.
I
You look younger. I thought you was like in your 20s a bit and stuff.
oh man, no. I kind of wish. No, I don't know if I wish, but like, I'm having that moment. I just turned. I just hit 31. I'm thinking about all this stuff, especially with like a lot of people that I looked up to when I was younger, kind of like passing away and stuff. It's kind of weird, but
Yeah,
I think hopefully it's just gonna make me a better creator at the end of the day, and
yeah.
I can bring that stuff into my work.
Right. Let me showcase your work so the viewers. Well, they seen some of it, but let me yeah, who's this?
Oh, that's Mirko from My Hero Academia. That's some fan art.
Oh,
That
okay.
yeah,
So it's not your creation. It's just you just drew that.
yeah. I just drew that. I mean, you gotta.
Okay.
That's the part of making money as an artist is you gotta make stuff that other people. You gotta find the balance between stuff other people want and the stuff you like. You know what I mean? And you gotta like
Yeah.
make merch and shit like that to sell because people
Oh,
not.
so you do commission and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do commissions. I do fan art. I go to shows and like sell prints and merch and stuff like that. Um,
You go to comic book conventions?
yeah. I'm going to C2E2 in April. I'm probably headed out to BlurredCon in Virginia in July,
Oh,
and then I'm doing some little events in between. My homie is having a concert this weekend. I'm selling art there, so
no, that's
it
nice.
should be cool.
No, no. What's this? Like, is this yours or just you just
Yeah,
did
no,
it?
yeah. This is from Become. This is the whole crew.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh,
this is
okay. Why don't you like tell me like who's who?
so in the back is Wiles and Lena, like the main characters. They kind of like they had this like weird psychic connection. Like Lena's from Earth
Oh,
and Wiles is from another planet called Janus. And
oh,
then the rest of the crew is like at the bottom with the afro is Karna. She, is the like psychiatrist on the ship, and then there's Addis, and they like do like engineering, and then Emerson is the like he is the doctor, and he's kind of like the soft one, but he's like a big dude, so it's kind of fun. And then there's Olia, who is like the co-captain, and she's like Wild's adopted sister, and so like they have a relationship that is, that's important to them, and so like it's a book that's ultimately about relationships and dealing with people. Um,
okay. No, oh, you stopped. Oh, now, yeah, like so it's more of a fantasy and it's more
yeah, it's like
like
it's a
what's the goal?
what's
Like
the
what's the goal in the story?
the goal at the beginning of the story is to find Lena, and then once they find her, there's
Okay.
going to be even more stuff that goes on. I think I don't. I'm
Oh,
trying to like talk about it without giving away too much, because it's like so.
okay,
There's a
all
lot
right,
of plans that we kind of have for the story, and like I'm trying to, but like yeah, they kind of have to like hop from planet to planet, and they kind of realize that they're a part of something, that the thing that they are part of, the planet that they come from, in the like network that they are a part of, is a lot more sinister than they thought it was.
right.
um so you know what I mean, it's like it's kind of like they have to like deal with the fact that they to some people might be like the bad guys and stuff like that.
Okay. Like, what was the process like of creating that with you and your friend? How
we
long did it take you to do
I mean, we've been working on it for a while. We've been working on it since like 2014 or something like that.
that? Oh,
We
okay.
we work on it whenever we can. It's like a lot of times when trying to make ends meet, you gotta like you can't like stick to a book forever. But at the same time, it's something where
Mm,
like I get to you can kind of see my progression as an artist. Um,
right.
it we started off with the characters. I mean, personally, I like to start off with like designing characters first a little bit,
Right.
because a lot of times when you draw on people, you kind of start to come up with what they like, and who where they come from and who they are, and like their personalities and stuff like that. And
Right.
then we kind of like talked about all these ideas, and we like to write together. Like we'll sit and we'll write together, and she'll write some stuff, and then I'll like write some stuff, and then we'll go back and like change it as we go, and then like send notes back and forth until we happy with how it like comes together, right? And and then I'll like go off and just like draw it, right? And there's a lot
Mm,
of room for me to just like come up with stuff while I'm drawing, like how the characters like they like gestures and stuff like that, which is like that's like my favorite stuff to draw. I love drawing like people's like acting and like how they like move around and stuff like that. um
that's cool. Yeah. What? Okay. This was kind of cool and weird at the time. Like,
yeah,
who's
yeah,
this?
this is cool because when so I did the last year, I did the milestone initiative. We was in the DC talent showcase, and that we got to work on a bunch of milestone comics characters right through DC. And the
Mm,
story, my friend Jared Pratt wrote the story that I worked on. It was called Makings of You. It was like a short story. It was like 8 pages or whatever. But he had this idea to bring back this old milestone villain who was in like one page back in the 90s. Like it was like
mm,
one, he literally showed up in one page, right? It was like this dude is
right.
coming and he never showed up or whatever, right? So they let us redesign it and change him up a lot of, and I kind of came up with this. His name is Soulbreaker, and I was like,
Okay.
what's the craziest thing I can do? He like a dude that uses technology and voodoo and stuff. So I was like, how can I like
Mm,
play with that and then give it a new edge and like make it look kind of crazy. Um,
mm.
and so I kind of made him look like, a little bit heavy metal, a little bit like tried to make him look scary. I like the mask a lot because you can't like you can see his face, but you can't see his eyes really.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's just like the like shadow of a face.
Have you ever read Milestone comics?
Yeah, yeah. I got the whole omnibus. Like I got the whole thing through the thing they gave us the whole omnibus. And then I read some. I'm like a big, and I read the new stuff too. And it made me. It's funny. It made me a big hardware fan because
Mm.
he's like, you know, um, I would say he like a black Iron Man, but to me he kind of better because I just like relate to him a lot more. I like his attitude and how he kind of is like. I think a lot of people feel like people disrespect him, and it's time to like it'd be nice to get that retribution, and it's cool to see a character
Yeah.
like just like go, no, I'm not taking disrespect anymore, and he just like builds his own armor and stuff. And then I also got really into Blood Syndicate, which was like really cool because like my first introduction to Milestone was like Static Shock back in the day, the like cartoon or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know about the other
I never
characters.
read the comic, but I'm sorry because I never read the comic, but I've seen the comic, but I never read it. Like, they had the superheroes that you it was kind of just different
Yeah,
than the traditional superheroes.
yeah. Like Blood Syndicate is dope because they not really a superhero team. They like a gang, right? Like they just trying to make it good for themselves, and they have to deal with all these other people who have powers and stuff too, and they also have to like deal with each other and like they own power struggles and stuff, and figuring out whether or not they if they want to be like heroes or not. And I think
Right.
that's real dope and that's real interesting to read. And I like want to I'm kind of mad because I like haven't had a chance to work with DC again, but that's a book I really want to work on if the opportunity arose.
Wait, when you say you did like stories with DC, like but you never like act like you did stories, but like you did projects with DC Comics. That's what
Yeah,
you're saying?
I've only drawn like one thing with them. Um,
Oh, okay.
it's kind
How
of the
you got
way,
connected with them?
yeah, like it was a contest. They did a contest
Oh
in,
yeah. I'm sorry. You mentioned that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
mentioned that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But after that, like you got to try to get in the same way as everybody else. Like they give you
Right.
opportunity, and then you got to like talk to editors and stuff and hit them up and ask them if they got anything going on, if they need you for anything, basically. And they just haven't,
Right.
asked me to do work on anything. And I'm like, I don't know what that, I don't know what that means. I feel like it's, like you was asking earlier, it's like sometimes you don't want to do it. It's like the only time I don't want to do art is when I have to like try to make somebody like me. I don't like
Right.
trying to make people like me. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's lame. You know what I mean? I like my art. I don't like when I show it to other people and they don't fuck with it because it feels like
Yeah.
it takes something away from how much I liked it, or it makes me think that maybe I was wrong to like it or something like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but
I mean, do you think like if somebody like if you showcase somebody your artwork and they give you like some pointers on what you need to do better, what do you feel that do you accept it or you just be like fuck them, I'm gonna just do me, that type of thing? I don't know.
I my goal is always to take what I need from it. So it's like You listen to somebody tell you what they like and don't like about your art, but you got to consider like what is your goal with a piece of art. What do you want it to look like? It's certain styles and things that I just am not deeply interested in, right? Like I don't want stuff to look realistic. Or like I was talking to a homie about a project of mine that I did. I did like a mini comic with this character, and he was like, well, she's not attractive enough or whatever. And for me, that was kind of the point. Like I was trying to find a balance between her being like, I wanted her to be like attractive, but not to everybody. Not like, I wanted to like mess with that, and mess with like how you looked at the character a little bit. So I mean, that's how he felt, but like I'm not about to change what I'm trying to do just to make somebody else happy. But when people touch on things that I do, that when somebody says, "Oh, you didn't do this," and I was trying to do that thing, then I'm like, okay, how can I make this improvement, or like what can I do? And that's always the goal when I hear somebody else's like opinions of my work is to see what I can use, right? You don't want to like take it too personally. I mean, it's hard not to take it personally sometimes, but I try not to.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I went to New York Comic Con. It's
Yeah,
maybe like 12 years ago.
yeah,
And I had somebody invited me and I had some drawings and stuff like that. So, I showcased some stuff to people, and some people was like, there's like, I would say people that been in the game for years, and they'll give you like these harsh criticism, but it don't seem harsh, but they'd be like, well, it has to be what he told me, it has to be a passion and stuff like that.
yeah,
Or some people, they one guy, he told me, he said my stuff is cool, all I could do is put it on Photoshop and stuff like that. And at the time, I didn't really know too much about Photoshop, but then, yeah. But then when I looked at it, I was like, oh wow, I could have, did this. I started working on Photoshop also, but
yeah,
it wasn't easy too, like because there was some artists that was working at DC. They was telling me that, my drawings were stiff,
yeah,
or like my drawings weren't like realistic enough and stuff
yeah,
like that. So, it was like, okay, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
I don't know, like I was like in and out of drawing and stuff. So I looked at it like that, like, it wasn't, it wasn't, it had me look at things like, do I really want to do it, or I'm just doing it to just be doing it, that's
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's the other use of it is like to see how you really feel if you really about what you're trying to do. Like
Right.
I dabbled in like doing stand up comedy for a minute, and like it's fun, but like there's a serious part to it. There's a part where you gotta go out and you gotta go to open mics 7 days a week, and you gotta make sure your jokes writing is on point, and you gotta record yourself and check your performance and stuff like that. And while I like doing it and I like respect the art form a lot, I wasn't that serious about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And part of knowing that is people critiquing you, is how you deal with people saying you not good, or that you need to work on something. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, when it came to that, I was too focused on like whether or not people liked me or not. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? But like with comics, I'm like always like, I'll be like, man, that sucked. With somebody I really respect kind of seemed like underwhelmed by my work. I'm like, that's lame. But I also try to remember what they said and see if like I can improve it. You know what I mean? It's like, okay,
Right.
how do I make this next piece more exciting, or how do I make it more, how do I take it from like okay to like spectacular, and how can I implement the stuff they showed me? You know what I mean? Um because it's it's tricks to make stuff. It's techniques for
Yeah,
everything, and it's a lot of things you have to learn how. You kind of have to learn how you see stuff, how you can like logic stuff to make certain things make sense. And you always gonna have when you make stuff, you always gonna have this part of you just like worried that it's not good enough. So it's like
right.
you got
Well, I thought you was gonna, I thought you was, I thought you was gonna continue because
oh yeah, no, my bad.
you'll
I do
say
that a lot.
something, then you just,
I gotta I do that a lot. I'm sorry.
yeah, I mean, like, there was a point where, I would kind of like motivate myself a little bit. Like, I would draw like, muscle women and stuff, bodybuilders and stuff like that,
Yeah,
or like wrestling, like fetishes and stuff. But I kind of stopped for a reason too. But I had I think that sometimes that kind of like made me draw and stuff more because I would like I would do it, but then for some reason I don't know, I stopped, and it was like where I'm going with this, so.
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's always a challenge, though.
yeah,
To because I've been drawing since I was a kid, bro. Like I've been drawing since like maybe like 3 or 4, like the same age that you started drawing, and they like along the way, like I would see people's. I would get motivated because I would see somebody drawing something. Like I remember I was at I used to go to the boys club, when I was a kid and stuff, and they had an art program, and I would see this kid. He would draw like a horse, like he would draw like cartoon characters, and he would draw. He had to be like around my age. At the time I had to be like 8 or something like that,
yeah,
and he would draw realistic, and that would make me kind of do the realistic thing too. Also, you
yeah.
know.
I mean, yeah, that's I mean that's how you start. It's like, and it's also like it's nothing wrong with like either not making drawing into like a job. I think that like as much as I like drawing and doing it, making it into a job makes it more about other people and making other
Right.
people happy. And sometimes that can kind of take something out of it. So I think that like if people draw, I think one there's something good about drawing for yourself. You know what I mean? Like you talking about just drawing, muscle women or whatever. And it's like that's if that's what you like to draw, you draw it. And you might even find you might want to make that into something, but like you might just want to keep doing it and get better at it to be getting better at it, right? Just to be making something you think is cool. Um,
Right.
and it's always good to be around other people who draw and other people who create stuff because you do get to like be inspired by them. One like back in high school, I had a homie of mine who he was like real good at animation and he was real good at drawing like Disney characters and stuff like that. And it would just be
Yeah.
like spot on model, everything. It would look like he was like already professional level and he was just like and I was always like I would watch how he put lines down and like how what he focused on, how he did it, and it taught me something just seeing him draw or whatever. And like now, it's I'm real proud of him because like he recently worked on he got a job at Disney, you know what I mean? And I was like, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Like so
That's cool.
you get to see people, it's inspiring to see people work on stuff and it makes it exciting. It makes you want to work on stuff. And yeah, I'm always an advocate for being around other people. My boy Maurice is also a comic book artist and he's from New York. He stay out here now,
Okay.
but we always hang out and like draw together just to keep the energy good.
Have you been to New York Comic Con?
Not yet. I'm trying to come this year. The goal is
Okay.
to come out here. Let's come out there this year. I'm either going if I don't get the table, I'm probably going to just come to the show and talk to people and stuff like that. because like
Yeah.
with a lot of jobs, it is about who you know. And New York Comic Con is a good opportunity to get to know people who can get you jobs and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why don't you showcase your work and stuff? So this is you, right? This is
Yeah, this is from a book that I was doing called Rewrite. It's about
okay.
a band of kids. It's about these kids who live in a world with superpowers, and some of them have superpowers, and
Yeah.
but they start a band. And the main girl is
Okay.
like dealing with like her sister is like the number one superhero in the city or whatever, and they have like they butt heads because her sister wants her to be more responsible, and like that's what this scene is from, like them getting into a fight because she's just like irritated with like her being not taking stuff seriously. um
What's this one?
this is from a book I did recently. It's like a short. I did two of these. It's called The Gold, and it's kind of weird, to be real with you. It's about this the girl is just like, she's like an assassin, and in the first one she goes to this like brothel, because she's like never, she's like a virgin or whatever, and she wants to like experience that or whatever, and it turns into this thing, where she like fights this dude. She fights, some fights break out, some people die, and then in this next one some more stuff happens. Some more people get violently maimed, but she's just trying to man her business. It's about feelings and power dynamics and stuff. I was just kind of messing around with trying to tell a story that I thought was emotionally resonant or something. uh I'm Yeah, it's in I have like a collection of short stories that I've done the last couple of years coming out in April.
Right.
And it's in that. Um yeah.
Okay. Um, this.
Yeah, this is more become art. This is like just, another piece of like promotional art that I made to like, show the characters in the series, and get a picture of the tone and stuff. So,
Is this your livelihood, like the commission stuff, or that's something on the side?
um right now all I'm doing is comics. All I'm doing is art. So I do commissions for people. I'm drawing pages for people. Right now I'm working on a pitch for somebody else. Um and we'll see if that turns into like a graphic novel. And then I'm working on some commissions for another dude who wants me to turn his book, his book called Tech Games, into like into a graphic novel. And yeah, like it's like, and then like my homie hit me up to do something for his. I work with I do work for my friend D Nick, and he has his rap crew called the Microphone Misfits, and I do
Right.
art for them. I did, a few. They did a comic. I did a few issues of that comic, uh, with my friend, with another older comic artist, Daryl Spicy. So, uh, yeah, like it's all I'm doing right now is comic work. I tried to go back to a regular job, and that shit didn't work. So I'm doing this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's cool, man. I like this X-Men. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah. I was like, I always wanted to do all black X-Men team. So
Yeah.
I threw together some of my favorite mutants, and put it like, if I got to do a cover and got to do like all black X-Men book, and I thought
Yeah.
it'd be dope. Like it'd be dope to me if it was up to me. It'd be set in Wakanda. It'd be like they like be in Wakanda, like trying to help out mutants in Africa in general, and like and dealing with like the social politics of Wakanda, like because like in the comics they don't really fuck with mutants, and like, but they've never really deeply gone into what that means. Because I think when you think about Wakanda as like a technologically advanced society, like, why don't they have, what is a problem with mutants? Like, where does that actually stem from? So it'd be really interesting to like explore that with these characters. Also to have like all the characters have a different relationship with coming to this place that's like all black people and that's put on this pedestal. Like, what is it like for you if you like some of the characters, like, cause some black X-Men characters are from Africa. So like, what is this like if you from the rest of Africa and you come to Wakanda versus like if you from the United States and you come to Wakanda? Like, how do you look at it, right? So I think that'd be really cool. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to do that, but or be a part of something like that. But like, it'd be cool if I was. So it's, you know, speaking into existence, I guess.
Yeah, not too. I mean, last week, I was talking with a artist. He's from Italy, and he do cover art, and he did cover art in Superman, and I think he illustrated pages also. But he yeah, like he was doing like cover arts and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
he didn't go to school. He just he had a mentor. Somebody was teaching him like the ins and out of drawing and stuff like that. And he's from Italy. He gonna see the statues and stuff and the anatomy and drawing and stuff. So
yeah,
so he's more yeah, like he would I would say his drawing would be really there, like in a Renaissance way, like Michelangelo, or
yeah.
yeah.
That's
He
cool.
also has a wife, huh?
I said that's cool.
Yeah, he also got a wife, and she met him like in a comic book convention and stuff, and so yeah, he been doing it, I think, like 30 years.
That's wild.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He worked for Marvel, DC. I think he did other projects. And he did stuff in Italy also. And yeah, yeah. You ever thought about like yeah, like what was the question I was about to ask you? Like showcase your work and stuff, and just show it to artists like that work for DC or Marvel, anything like
Um,
that. If you do go to Comic Con.
oh, just showing the art. Yeah, I mean, every time when I was for the longest time, like I would go to shows even when I didn't like table, and just show my work to artists that I respect, you know, and see what they
Yeah,
thought about it and see and get their input, you know, like um and it's helpful. I mean, after a while, I think you get to a point where people start telling you stuff that you heard the same things over and over again, and you kind of feel like you just need to go home and
yeah,
work on it. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah,
it helps a lot to get those inputs and stuff. But you know, artists like it's hard to find people who can like help you move on to the next level or whatever. But like,
yeah,
it
yeah,
is it is worth it to get those critiques and stuff.
yeah. Um, like what did you think about Black Panther? Also, that was another question.
Oh, that's a good question. I'm see.
The movie, the movie.
I like the like it's like simply put, I fuck with the movie a lot. I like the movie. I like both of the movies a lot.
Yeah,
Um, I think a lot of people want the movies to be more. It's funny because I feel like a lot of people want the movies to be like more like militant on a certain level, but at the same time they are like big Hollywood blockbusters, and you are trying to like it's less about the message and more about like making an entertaining movie, but with that in consideration, I feel like the message is really strong in those movies, and it's probably not perfect, but it's like at the end of the day, like I came to see a movie about a black superhero who like makes you feel proud, and like that's how I felt. Like I thought that character was just so cool, and like everything, the whole way that he was written and the whole way that he was performed in the first movie was just so like compelling and different and like interesting. And the second movie was just like wildly powerful to me. And I thought they took a lot of like really did a lot of really cool stuff in those movies. And I thought the other characters, like you get to spend time with those other characters, and it's such a like raw moment, and it feels to me very palpable, and it worked for me at the end of the day. And like the villain was of Namor was like understandable, like, but at the same time, like they had to like protect themselves. So like I don't know, like I really like those movies, but I know some people have some issues with them, you know.
Yeah, I seen the first one. The first one, I like it because of Killmonger, because it's like you felt his pain and stuff,
Yeah,
and yeah, that would kind of like I could say that was relatable to me. And the
yeah,
second one, I didn't see it, but I've heard like people had issues with it, with especially with Neymar, because he and he was he was Hispanic and stuff, and Neymar is he didn't look like Neymar in the comic book.
I don't
I
know.
mean, I don't know.
I thought that was cool though, man. Like that was
Yeah,
cool. I mean, I also like not
they
only
made it like a Mayan society and stuff.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
I mean I thought
It
that was
wasn't.
cool. I fucked with it heavy. It's
Yeah,
like it was also cool to see like it was dope watching the first Black Panther and seeing so many people get excited about it. Like so many black people get excited about
yeah.
it, right? And like for like
I
growing
don't
up
know
in
why, but it
you know
just
like I grew up around a lot of Mexican
it
people.
wasn't a big deal. Like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's cool. But like, yeah, no, I was just saying, like, growing up around like Mexican people, like, it was cool to see them get excited about Namor and like how he like they was hype. You know what I mean? It was like
Yeah,
cool to
I
see,
know, I know.
and like and it's like people talk about like in the comics, and like the only thing the coolest thing about Namor in the comics to me personally is his attitude, is the energy he come at people with.
Yeah,
All that other stuff, like
yeah,
they don't really spend hours on like Atlantis and shit like that. I'm not like giving shit about. Like I don't care about it. Like it's it's in the sea. Like the basic concept is cool, but like you don't spend a lot of time there in any book about him or I've ever read before. So them having their own take on it didn't take away anything from it, and he still had that attitude that like that almost like um like like there's this pride that was like both his like weapon and his like sword and his like Achilles heel, right? And he's like comes in the rooms and it's like everybody like I'm the shit. You either listen to me or you move out the way. I don't have time for you. And that's
yeah,
like the energy. That energy was there. So it was like I didn't really have there was no problem with the changes because the stuff that was like important and core to me, that was there, right?
yeah. Yeah, I didn't see it, but it was like, and then people had an issue with what's her name being the Black Panther, Shuri.
I mean, I didn't because she's been
I know
Black
she
Panther,
was the Black Panther in the comic book, but
and
they,
I personally am confident that like if they was like y'all have to recast Black Panther, like I understand people wanting them to recast T'Challa, I get it, but like at the
yeah,
end of the day, to me personally, I think the first movie was so good because of everybody that was involved in it, right? Like you had all these
yeah,
creative people who were involved into the actors, the
yeah,
writers, the like the whole crew, and how seriously they took it and how like into like they was tight knit, which is like not how every movie set works, you know. Um, and I think that because it was like that, if you had come in and like if they had changed T'Challa to another person, I don't think people would have been able to work the same, because like with acting is a very like you basically manipulating yourself emotionally, right? Like you gotta create the illusion. The only way to create the illusion that you feel the emotions of the characters that you feel in is that you know, go into yourself and find real things to trigger that. And it would be crazy to have to do that in a situation that reminds you of somebody that you lost recently, that you never in to go back to the place, or the place where you knew them from, right? And also not having the chance to really like that like snuck up on everybody. Like, you know, nobody was like expecting him to lose him. That's why he didn't tell anybody, right? So like
Right.
everybody was like, it would be weird to have to go into that situation and act like shit is cool. Like that would be a lot to ask. I don't think anybody would have came back, to be real with you, and done the movie. And I don't think it would have been a good movie. And that's my personal opinion. I don't know if that's true. I don't think it's like the only opinion that is valid, but it's just like how I feel about it. Like I just don't think it would have been the same. I don't think it would have been a good movie because I don't think it would have been just any of the same people really.
Yeah, I think the reason why, because like, especially with white superheroes like Batman or Superman, they like, say like Christopher Reeve plays Superman, and then uh they would kind of have a recasting of Superman and Clark Kent. But then with T'Challa, it's like no more Chadwick Boseman. Now it's kind of, hey, let's use Shuri and
Yeah.
stuff. So people had an issue with it. So
Yeah, I think there's a thing to be said about that, but it's also a situation where you have this mechanism of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Like you talk about
mm,
Christopher Reeve, and like, yeah, they recast Christopher Reeve, but that was literally like 15, 20 years later, and it was like a
mm,
reset of what, like you had a whole new cast and crew of people. You know what I mean? Like it was like he wasn't exactly the same Superman, right? It's not the same. It's not like, oh, this is the same thing we was doing last time, except now we replaced one person. It's like the whole everybody is different, right? So, and you have all this time to like deal with that, because I think like you look at, it's a similar situation, whereas Christopher Reeve's situation was more he was in an accident. You didn't see them
right,
like turn around and make another Superman movie right after that, even
right,
restarting it.
yeah, yeah,
They took a long
yeah. It took a
time
long while.
to wait, because there was like, you know, like there was an emotional attachment to this person as Superman, right, from the audience, right? And then like, whereas if you look at like something like Batman, when they like switch over actors, you
Yeah,
it's because actors left because of money. Don't nobody, you know, they left because money and directors left or whatever.
you
And so,
right. You
you
right,
know,
because
you-
Heath Ledger, when he did the Joker, he passed away, and they was gonna do a story. He was supposed to be in the third Batman, but since he died, they had to change stuff because they was thinking about recasting him, but it would kind of like spoil the mood or anything like that, or even just mention him. They mention
yeah,
his name, the Joker, and stuff. It
yeah,
would just kind of spoil the movie. So, they just kind of left it with Bane. So,
yeah. And this is movies are a funny thing. I mean, if they can be really, you still making this big, like, I don't know if you ever like seen a set before for like things or whatever, but like they these like big operations, and they like real chaotic, right? Like it's real chaotic to be on a
right,
set. It's real like weird, and it's like but you're still making a piece of art with people. You're still making some like thing with people, and like depending on the better it is, it can be more emotional. I think when you come in and you work on something with people and y'all take it seriously, you put a lot on the table. So it's like to come back and then just like have to deal with, you know, people having died or whatever, like that can be weird. You know what I mean? That's a
yeah,
weird place to put yourself in. I think at least to me personally, I don't know if it's impossible to make a good movie in that situation, but I just think it's like it's harder. It's definitely gonna be harder. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't
yeah,
like if they had made if they had made Black Panther, they had recast Black Panther, I wouldn't have been shocked if they made it and it wasn't good. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, because like people didn't like that, but like I don't think you can sit there and really say it was a bad movie. Like it was a badly put together movie, right? Um,
Yeah.
but you know,
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I was just hearing. I think some people, some people had an issue with it. Some people thought it was so.
yeah,
It's one of
I think
those
it's worth, I
movies.
think it's worth checking in personally, but you know, I'm not gonna make
Yeah.
anybody do anything I want to do.
How you see like how you see like the Marvel, the MCU in the future and stuff like that. With the
Um,
movies.
I think I don't know, honestly. I
Yeah,
personally
it's gonna
haven't been
predict.
I've been a lot more like apologetic towards the MCU than I think a lot of other people have.
Yeah,
Um, like you know, I tend to enjoy the movies a lot. But like at the same time, it's a few of them where like even though I liked them, I understood why other people didn't dig it that much. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
like Thor: Love and Thunder, but other people didn't like it, and I kind of get why. Like it was kind of weird. Um,
yeah. It
but
was just
you know, so I understood that it wasn't everybody's cup of tea or whatever. I don't know why people was hating on Ant-Man so hard. Honestly, like that could have been a way. Like I don't know. Like it was
the
just
latest one.
yeah. Like I just kind of felt
I
like
didn't see that one.
like it was like people was telling me it was like terrible, and I was like, no, it's just
Yeah,
not the greatest. But okay,
yeah,
but you know that's just me personally, you know. And then with the Marvels, but I think to the Marvels kind of showed me that there is like as far as everybody else like this superhero fatigue because like that movie was actually pretty good and people just didn't go see it. You know what I mean? Like um, I thought that movie was pretty. It was a fun time. Like it was just a fun movie to watch. Like you, I don't think if you go if you I don't know if you've seen it, but if you see the Marvels, like you're not gonna
no,
leave
I
the
didn't
movie
see it.
if you're not gonna leave the movie mad. Like you're not gonna leave the movie like mad you saw it. It's a fun movie. It's gonna make you laugh. It's gonna be like that's pretty cool. Like some cool stuff happens. It's dope. So but I think a movie that like is just a good movie not doing that well was like, oh, I guess people really not fucking with this right now. But you know, with these big movies, like they gonna figure out what they gonna figure out and make changes where they need to make changes, and then we'll see how people receive it. Because it's like a part of me feels like a lot of stuff people was complaining about before Endgame came out they tried to
Yeah,
address in those movies that people didn't like. So I thought it was interesting that they was like people was like, oh well, you know, these movies are too connected. I got to see all the movies. So then they made movies that was less connected, and everybody was like, well, these movies not connected. What's wrong? Like so it was weird to me
mm,
that people was like complaining a little bit, but at the same time, I think some of the movies aren't as strong because of you you have the way that they make the Marvel movies at least some of them is they tend to like not finish like they don't nail down a script before they like start shooting and stuff, which when you think about that kind of thing it's actually kind of incredible that they get movies as good as they do because like that kind of thing can really fuck you up. Like movies have to be planned out really precisely, especially when you're using special effects and stuff like that.
yeah,
And because you know there's a lot of I don't know if you ever heard people talk about special effects. Like I watch stuff online where they talk about them, and like special effects are like an art form, but they also a lot of math. Like it's a lot of like scientific theory that goes into like how they work and understanding simulations and shit like that. So like you gotta if you hitting people with that late, you like, oh, now we gotta all of a sudden we gotta make this change. Like that's not enough time to figure out the kinks and stuff like that. That's why like the special effects look off to people. You know, it's like they
yeah,
might be able to they people are good enough where they can get stuff to look pretty good, but like if you want to get it that last bit that really makes it like pop and makes it work, you probably you gotta do a little bit more tweaking and stuff like that. But they don't have time for that, right? So I think
mm,
if you making movies like that, it's just not always you're not always gonna make something that people fuck with, even if you're able to string something together that's coherent to in the most part. Because I mean, like people talk shit about the Marvel movies, but like that last Flash movie was weird.
Yeah, it
That
was
was,
horrible. I don't want to say horrible, but it wasn't great. It wasn't
yeah,
great at all.
it was kind of all over the place, and then the special effects was
Yeah,
terrible in that movie, and I was like, y'all been,
yeah,
you know, like comparative to like, you know, people talking about Ant-Man, and I was like, compared to this, like Ant-Man was beautiful. What are you talking about? But like,
yeah.
um, so so but I think that like depending on what if they able to like, you know, make the changes and react to stuff in a way that's like productive is up to like behind the scenes shit that I don't know anything about. Like today, that one dude that like activist investor dude at Disney was talking all this mess about how it's because they made diverse movies, and it's like
Right.
he's like, oh well, they made the Marvels and Black Panther, and that's why they aren't doing as well. And it was just like, but you just named that's it was just honestly like the comment he made was so blatantly racist because it was just so actively wrong. Like we was talking about Black Panther, but like the first Black Panther made $1 billion, and the second Black Panther made almost $1 billion. So like
Yeah.
your whole job is to figure out money, and you sitting here telling me that the movies that made money are the ones you shouldn't be making anymore. Like you sound like a goofy. Like
Mm.
even the Marvels, which like the sequel didn't make money, the first one still made a bunch of money. So like there's a reason why they made the second one, because the first one made a bunch of money, right? So like, but you gonna sit here and tell me that the problem isn't the movies, the last 3 or 4 movies you made with white male leads. The problem is the movies you made with Black people and women. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. You sound goofy. Um,
Yeah. They had like a test run. They had a test trailer for Captain America 4. The break. I don't
the
know. You heard about it with
I
Sam Wilson,
I saw like some
Anthony
clips.
Mackie.
I didn't look into it.
Yeah, they said that people wasn't really impressed with it. Like it was like too much politics there, and it wasn't. I don't know. They wasn't feeling it was boring and stuff, and it wasn't good for what people the reviews. So they want to reshoot things and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know.
yeah, I had to look into like what the story is behind that or what they're saying, because I feel like it's a lot of people,
Mm.
it's a lot of news sites out here now that like they like kind of spreading misinformation to get clicks or whatever. Not to say that that's necessarily not true, but like I just don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't check every headline, but like at the same time, like it's pretty typical for them to do test screenings and then to go back and do reshoots and shit like that. Like that's not out of the ordinary, but it's also, but it's like, you know, that's also kind of a way of shooting. If you, I think that's one of the reasons why like you want to nail down like in pre-production, you want to nail down like certain creative bits before you actually have to start spending real money on like big production stuff, so that you don't have to go back and change as much later, or the stuff you change is even more refined than when you like then like if you didn't have everything done already. But I that's me speculating as somebody who has read a lot about movies, not somebody who knows a lot about movies, like now who not really knows or has experience. So like take that shit with the grainest of salts or whatever.
Yeah. I want to go like to other stuff with your work. Well, what's this now?
Oh, that's Trunks and Gohan. I drew this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I drew this because
Okay.
this is. I mean, it's
You
like
have a
my
style like it's different. Like you know.
yeah, yeah. I drew this, you know, in honor of Akira Toriyama. I grew up on Dragon Ball Z, That's
yeah,
that was my shit growing up as a kid. That's how I got into anime.
yeah,
That's like me and my brother used to watch Dragon Ball Z all the time, and
right,
and that's how I started drawing. Like I was drawing. Well, that's one of the things I was drawing when I was little all the time. Like once that came out, I was drawing Goku. I was drawing
mm,
Trunks like repeatedly and trying to figure out how. It taught me how to draw muscles for the first time. It taught me how to like draw faces and stuff like that. And like
yeah,
so it was really important to me. So like of course I had to do something to like I guess honor that because it's like it's so crazy. It was so weird to hear about him passing away. And it's
yeah.
also weird to think
The
about
writer,
something that popular that I share with all the other people. Like there's all these other people in the world who like this thing as much as I like it and have something to say and it's affected their lives. And we all had this connection because of this one dude, um, making this thing. I think that's crazy.
yeah, yeah. What's his name? Akira. I
Yeah,
forgot
Akira
the.
Toriyama.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't like I don't think I was so big on Dragon Ball Z. I remember I seen that. I started watching it when I was locked up, and I seen the fight when Goku was fighting Frieza and stuff,
Yeah,
and Vegeta was kind of joining forces with Goku, like giving him pointers how to fight him and stuff, how to fight Frieza, because
yeah,
Frieza was very challenging and stuff. He was beating the ish out of Vegeta. And yeah, and then I started looking at it too. I was watching when he was young too, like Dragon Ball,
yeah,
when he first started off. Yeah. So, but after and then I seen it like when he in the future like he was old, but then he turned young and stuff.
yeah, yeah. They turned
And
him into a kid. Yeah,
I think that was the last chapter of it,
yeah. That
the
was like
Dragon Ball GT.
yeah, that was like the
Yeah,
last the
yeah,
last anime thing they did for a while, and then they like brought it back.
yeah.
Um,
Then
like
they
a few
had
years.
like a Dragon Ball Z movie, animation and
Yeah,
stuff. I remember I had that. I had I think I had the video. Yeah, I
yeah,
see. Yeah, I had the video to that. Yeah,
yeah. I had those too.
yeah,
I had a bunch of those. I had yeah, like I had a whole bunch of Dragon Ball Z tapes and on VHS
right.
and later like DVDs and stuff like that. And so yeah, like that was like something I wanted to do. Um,
Mm. Yeah, that's cool, man. Like, yeah. What's this? No.
this is the cover to that other comic I was talking about before that the one with the assassin and stuff. It's like a
Oh, okay.
sci-fi book. I a lot of times with the covers and stuff I get a little bit like symbolic about with the stories that I'm doing. So it's like the main characters and she's kind of like dragging them into the water, even though like she didn't
Right.
really try to. It's just like it's just supposed to be like
Mm.
showing some of the things of the story that I was trying to tell. Um, and this is more fan art. This is I don't know if you watch a lot of anime. This is an anime called Eureka Seven.
Not
That
as much. Not as much.
yeah,
Not
it's
as
pretty
much.
good. It's kind of weird. It's about this boy who meets this alien girl, and then he joins a terrorist group kind of thing, and they
Yeah.
fight the giant robot. It's pretty to like save the environment, basically. It's pretty weird, but it's fun and it's really good. Recommend it.
Yeah. I think I stopped with Inuyasha and what One Punch Man or something like that. And
Yeah,
because I remember I was watching Adult Swim like on Saturdays, and they
yeah,
had Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and
yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
this came on
but
Adult
what?
Swim too, actually, but I
Yeah,
don't know how many people was watching it too. Like it was, I
they
used
have
to,
different kind of animation up in there now, like Adult Swim. Turn
yeah,
around, like it's a lot of different animals,
yeah,
animes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now who's this?
Oh, this is Kim Pine from Scott Pilgrim. I don't know if you read that book or saw the movie. Um,
Yo,
yeah. Just fan art of Kim Pine from Scott Pilgrim. She, cute. Um, and then Tifa from Final Fantasy VII.
okay.
I like how it turned out. This is one of the characters from the comic I'm doing called Wings of the King. The one I was telling you about earlier about the like fighting tournament. Um,
Right.
so the like cover to the new like short story collection I'm releasing in April at the end. Yeah, at the middle of April. It's gonna be a C2E2, and it's gonna be online and stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Uh,
Who's this?
oh, this is Rachel Gray from X-Men. She is
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jean Grey's daughter.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's cool. I like her a lot.
Yeah. I think I read X-Men versus Avengers, and I know she was there. She played a part in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They shifted with the X-Men. They at one point they brought the original crew. They did a time travel thing with the crew, with the original
Yeah.
crew, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and all that stuff. Yeah,
That was like after Avengers versus X-Men. That was when Bendis was writing
yeah,
it, and it was like it was pretty cool. I mean, I like that run, but a lot of people I guess they didn't. I don't know. But it was it was cool. Did you see the new X-Men show, the new X-Men animated series?
I heard. I didn't really hear too much about it. How was it? Like
Oh, it's dope.
I'm
It's
not
dope as hell.
okay. It seemed
Yeah.
like it's getting good reviews about
Yeah.
it, but I didn't really like take a look at it. Yeah,
Yeah, no, the animation is fire. The writing is real
right.
good. Um, it's pretty dope. I think it's worth watching.
Mm. Where they have it? When can where did they show it at? I forgot.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't really be doing the stream thing too much.
yeah,
Now this is your own thing or
yeah. This is another Become piece. Like this is some of the crew will
okay.
become, and it's just like I was trying to like with this one I was trying to do something. I was trying to stretch my muscles and do some more background stuff and have it be kind of complicated a little bit, and just show them in a new environment and some places I want to take them in the future story.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I wish you good luck, man, on this. This is cool with the
Yeah.
story. Yeah, I like the background that you did and the big Bartha.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, wow, yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I really appreciate you coming through, man, and tell me
Yeah, thanks for
you
talking to me,
told
man.
me stuff with Robin. Yeah, 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 yeah. So you got anything like for people that want to get into to cartooning or anything like that, or inspiring words?
Inspiring words.
Yeah, like
Huh. I think
just for to end it, just to end it. That's all.
I think you just gotta like ultimately it's about you doing what you want to do and just trying to make it look as good as you can possibly make it look and be as true to what you like your vision is as possible. And but and learning how to communicate what you want to do to other people. At the end of the day, like art is about communication. It's about communicating an idea to people and like trying trying to get good enough to communicate what you need to communicate is like I think the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you see now? Where do you see your work? Like in
Um,
5 years?
5 years. I mean,
Yeah.
ideally, I want to work on X-Men. Um,
Okay.
and I want to be and I want to work on I want to have done um one or two series of my own, like creative own things.
All
Um,
right.
yeah.
All right, man. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you and talking with you, man.
Yeah, it was good talking to you
Really
too.
appreciate this talk.
Like, reaching
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, then and anytime you want to come back, like in the future, man, I'll be happy to invite you.
All
You
right.
know,
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to reading your books also too.
Yeah, yeah, check me out. My stuff is on Global Comics. It's a few free comics on there.
All
If you
right.
look up Damon Drew This on all social platforms, that's usually me. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, like and then I have like a link in my bio on Instagram that leads you to like my comic store, and you can get the Come Volume One and um my my past short story collections and some art books and stuff like that. So
All right.
check it out.
Best wishes to you, man.
Thank you. Best wishes to you too.
All right. No doubt. Well, peace out, everybody. Thanks for coming in, balls deep. Thanks for just stopping by, and that's a wrap, guys.